Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing the Breitling Avenger GMT Night Mission, a stealthy, diamond-like carbon-coated stainless steel dual-time watch that is 45 millimeters in diameter, only 12.5 millimeters thick, and 52.8 millimeters from lug to lug with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. You can see it's quite broad. From over the top, you can really see that it's overlapping the edges of my wrist. So my wrist is a little too small to wear this. I'd say you need a wrist of 17 centimeters circumference or larger to wear this well. That said, it is quite thin, so if you've got a broad enough wrist to wear it, it's easily going to slide underneath your cuff. Unexpected for a watch of this style, with an aggressive character and a broad stance. Taking a look, we have a tan calf skin with a lightly contrasting stitch. It is quite thin. It's bolstered to give it some volume at the junction with the lugs, so it swells a little there and then thins out at the edge where it approaches the underside of your wrist. It mates with a matching buckle. You can see that this buckle is actually a combination of black DLC with a metal substrate with twin trigger release, so it will not pop open until you press both triggers, giving you more security when the clasp is closed. Now, rolling around the case, you can appreciate that everything is in a satin finish. It is the Night Mission, so it's anti-glare and muted. There's no high polish here. The lugs are integrated, blended in profile with a little bit of a taper. We have crown guard structures. We have a triple knurling on the crown. It is a screw-down crown. The watch is 300 meters water resistant. You can see the bezel is held on using screws. This is what's called a captive bezel. It's a very solid and reliable system that makes it impossible to accidentally remove the bezel via impact the way you can with a snap-on bezel. This bezel doesn't snap on, so it doesn't snap off. It takes a little bit longer to dismantle. That's a problem for your watchmaker, not for you. The captive bezel system, also used by Zinn, very, very solid. The rider tabs, as is traditional at Breitling, are there to make it easier to manipulate the bezel when your hands might be wet, sweaty, or gloved, particularly gloved in the case of this watch, though it does qualify as a diver as well. Although this is a dual-time watch, we are not looking at a GMT bezel. It's a true unidirectional dive-style bezel that is 120 click. Let's hear it. The action is sharp and positive, allowing you to easily align the bezel pearl with the minute hand. Now I have a 0 to 60 minute count up dive timer, and as you can see, the bezel pearl is exceptionally large. All of the hour, minute, and secondary hour hands on the dial are luminescent, so you can see that secondary time zone even in the dark. Now, moving inboard of the bezel, you can see there's a little flange that borders the crystal. That flange between the crystal and the bezel is called the chimney in Breitling speak. It helps to prevent the bezel from coming in contact with the crystal. There's a flange internally with a 24-hour scale against which you can read that secondary time zone, which is indicated by the red hand right there. Now you can see, because this is a 2893, we have both a quick set for the date and we have a quick set system for the secondary time zone. So you don't have to wind out the local hour hand in order to advance or retard the date. Taking a quick look here, you can see that we have a hacking seconds system, so you can stop the seconds, synchronized to a reference time. We have a sort of Fotina look going on, both on the luminescent inserts and the actual colored Arabic numerals. The dial is a grained matte black to resist glare once again. We have the Breitling wings. We have a case back that gives you all sorts of clues about what lies within. So V in this case means stainless steel that's been blackened. 32 means it's a caliber 32. The 3 means it's a chronometer. And inside we do have an ETA, a 28932, which is the dual-time version of the 2892. Bidirectional automatic winding. It has a 42-hour power reserve, a 4 hertz beat rate, stop seconds, a quick set date, the dual 12 and 24-hour times, 5 position adjusted. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer that pivots on 21 joules. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.